Antoni Gaudi said, "But man does not create, he discovers." And this from one of the most creative, artistic, and architectural minds in history, a man who has become synonymous with the city of Barcelona. And so my trip to Barcelona starts, as all visits should, with a trip to Gaudi's incredible Sagrada Familia. My journey of discovery begins here, to find inspiration as I prepare to jump into my third visit to Mobile World Congress, which is why ultimately I'm here. Mobile World Congress is the largest conference for the mobile industry, bringing in companies from every corner of the globe. And while the industry centers on the mobile communications industry, its reach is expanding in other areas such as virtual and augmented reality, which is one of the reasons I was so interested to attend this year's conference. Join me on this journey as I seek to discover what the present and future of the mobile industry looks like from Mobile World Congress 2023 here in Barcelona. Stick around for an expanded version of On Convergence with interviews, product glimpses, and my 3 takeaways. My first takeaway is that globally, augmented and virtual reality are growing and are progressing. Now the pace, I'm going to call it deliberate. It's not that things are moving slow or there's been this massive pullback. It's just that companies are more intentional and more focused on the investments they're making. I'm going to take you inside a couple of the booths that I saw at Mobile World Congress to give you a little bit of an idea of what I was showing. We're going to start with Lenovo, who is one of my favorites because they were showing their augmented reality device, they were showing their virtual reality device, and showing augmented reality on their virtual reality device. So a lot to see there. Let's go there right now. Great. So Jason, tell me about the VR hardware y'all are showing this year.
Absolutely. So this is the new VRX. So Think Reality VRX is an all-in-one 6-stop headset with mixed reality capabilities. So what you'll notice on the front of the device, being an all-in-one device, it has these 4 corner cameras that give you your inside-out tracking, allow you to track your environment. Also tracks the controllers to make sure that you've got accurate spatial aspects within the room as well as where your hand positions are. In addition, you'll notice these 2 cameras on the front. Those are full color mixed reality pass-through cameras. So when you put this device on, because they're positioned over your eyes and because they're both full color, you get almost no distortion to your environment. You have very good pass-through with that, giving you the ability to have additional use cases outside traditional VR. We're gearing this specifically for the enterprise. There's no consumer nature, there's no gaming, no social media, none of the things that a lot of our competitive devices do. It's geared almost entirely for training for organizations, collaboration, design, some of the major use cases that we're seeing within the VR space that have really taken off over the past few years.
Awesome. There are some consumer devices out there, obviously, but business has kind of been left out of VR so far, I guess, up till now, I guess.
Yeah, and that's really the area that we specialize in. Lenovo is a trusted brand with many organizations already. So having them bring in a VR device from Lenovo makes a lot more sense than some of these other organizations that we're seeing out there. The device itself is built to be much more robust for the enterprise customer, but we also look at it from a full solution perspective. The ISVs that we bring on board for training, the MDM openness that we have our own onboard MDM, but we work with every MDM pretty much out there. We also have a full suite of services secondarily to it, as well as support and things like DaaS financial models. So there's a significant suite of things that we look at from a top to bottom perspective when we're dealing with an enterprise customer that our competitors just really can't stand up against.
Awesome. Thanks so much for your time.
Absolutely. Pleasure.
Great. So Matney, we just talked about virtual reality, but let's shift to augmented reality. Tell me about the device you guys have here at the booth.
Absolutely, thank you, Thomas. So this is the Think Reality A3 head-mounted display. We're calling it one of the most versatile augmented reality headsets in the market, primarily because the headset connects not only to a smartphone, but it also connects to a PC. And what we're showing is the 2 different use cases that you get when you connect it to those different compute hosts. When you connect it to a phone, you've got some of the more standard augmented reality use cases, such as remote expert and guided workflow. We also are highlighting today at MWC the fact that Snapdragon Spaces now includes hand tracking with their SDK. So our ISVs and developers can now develop applications that incorporate hand tracking using the A3. And then also here we got them connected to the PC where you can do multiple digital displays where you can have a multi-monitor setup wherever you wind up working for the day.
Yeah, I don't think people quite understand how powerful that's going to be here in the future. And one of the things I love this form factor, just how small it is.
It's so
lightweight
small.
it is.
The ear horns fold in. It comes with a small little compact case that you can put it in. And it really is quite a versatile little device. It has integrated speakers and microphones in the device itself, and it has 2 fisheye cameras out here on the front that allow you to do 6-DoF tracking. So it tracks your environment, and you can place digital content into your environment and then interact with it.
And it has a camera, right?
It does. Oh,
okay.
It does have an RGB camera here right in the front, and it's a 720p RGB camera, which allows you to take pictures, but also to do a see what I see kind of a scenario where you can call someone back at the office, they can see what you see through the glasses, provide instruction, help you through a complex repair scenario.
Yeah, and I could see AI kind of coming into play with that as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, cool. Well, thanks so much for your time. It's great to see you.
Absolutely.
One of the highlights for me from Mobile World Congress was getting to see Cher Wang, the co-founder and CEO of HTC, who was interviewed by Joanna Stern. It was kind of a thrill to get to see both of them up close in a pretty small gathering hosted by the Wall Street Journal. And there she talked a little bit about what they're building at HTC in their virtual reality devices, as well as their shift from a smartphone company to a VR device manufacturer. So very, very cool interview, and also got to spend some time at the HTC booth, and we'll go there now. Okay, so I'm here at the HTC booth. Been looking forward to this for a while. They've got their new 5XR Elite, which has won a bunch of awards. Very cool headset. I got to play with it a little bit here at the show. They've got some virtual boxing stuff going on using mixed reality. They've got the rowing demonstration. There's some interactive multiplayer kind of games going on over here. Got to check out the Viveverse for Business, which is kind of a business metaverse that they're showing here. There's also some interesting stuff around mixed reality, some mixed reality experiences that they're showing. It's pretty amazing. And then for connectivity, they're also talking, because this is Mobile World Congress, they're also talking about 5G and kind of 5G powered devices. So we're seeing kind of some early accessories here to support private 5G, and they've got some 5G stuff here, as well as some kind of demos that are showing how that all works. So that's it from HTC, one of the cooler booths here at Mobile World Congress, at least for me. And yeah, that's it. I also was excited to get to play around with devices from Pico. Been hearing a lot about them. We don't really get them in the US. They're owned by the company that owns TikTok. So they've been in the news a lot, and they're seen kind of as a Quest 2 competitor for Meta. So it was cool to be able to get to see one up close, get to try it on, and hear a few thoughts from the Pico booth.
So Leland, thanks so much for a few minutes here. I'm really interested in what Pico's doing on the business side. I know y'all are in business, and then you've been over to the consumer side, but obviously you're showing your both devices here at Mobile World Congress. Tell me a little bit about this business device and kind of how customers are adopting it.
Yeah, definitely. So we first launched the consumer product, but then earlier this year, this was sent to the first customers. It's been about a month and a half in the market. This is follows the same general design as the consumer product, but it has 2 key additions, which are eye tracking and the face tracking sensor.
Awesome.
So with those additional sensors, you're able to offer enterprise use cases, enterprise customers, additional ways to gather information about what the user is doing, what their intentions are. Obviously, the eye tracking is an incredibly useful set of information. The main use cases for Pico Enterprise are healthcare, training, some marketing activation, so being able to do things like trade shows, showing your product, virtual tourism, education, and then finally location-based entertainment, which is where you show the product in like VR cinema or multi-user VR arcade. So these are the premium business-only product from Pico, the Pico 4 Enterprise, and they are the upgraded version of our consumer product. And the consumer product is all about consumer entertainment, gaming, live events, concerts, fitness, and then this is all about scalability and professional use cases.
Awesome. Thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks.
Okay, my second takeaway has to do with 5G. The last time I was at Mobile World Congress was back in 2017, so it's been 6 years. Back then, 5G was kind of something that was coming. It was right on the horizon. There was a lot of talk about it. Obviously, I even saw a demo of a 5G device getting 1 gigabits per second speed, kind of in a lab environment, which was kind of cool. But it was kind of like, here's what's coming. And this year, definitely there was the sense that 5G has arrived and now it's here. And the question is now, what do we do with it? The companies talked a lot about the large investments they've made in Europe. They're kind of struggling with profitability thanks to these massive investments and not being able to monetize the infrastructure as well as they'd like. So a lot of Mobile World Congress was about, now that we have 5G, what do we do with it? And so that was a lot of the interesting conversation was around augmented and virtual reality, which I just talked about, things like IoT, as well as how to open up their networks with APIs to look for some creative ways to monetize that infrastructure. So a lot of great conversation there, and I think that particularly that open API aspect, it's not something we're used to seeing from the mobile operators or any of the telecommunications companies, so it was definitely refreshing, and I'm excited about the opportunities that the developer community could come up with to help leverage these networks in the future. Finally, you can't really talk about Mobile World Congress without talking about smartphones and devices. And this was really cool for me to get to see devices we don't get to see much in the US. I went by the Oppo booth, got to see some of their technology with these really cool foldable smartphones that have really come a long way in the last couple of years from kind of a novel concept to maybe a little bit more mature device. Also is at the Xiaomi booth where they had all kind of foldable devices, moldable little tablets that collapse into a phone. They had robots, and of course my favorite was Cyber Dog, which they were showing off as well. So lots of cool devices there. And then Huawei had some amazing technology. I particularly liked their foldable tablet. And it's kind of cool because it folds up kind of the other way. Most fold up screen to screen like this, like a book closing it, and theirs folds the other way so that the screen is on the outside so that you maintain that beautiful screen real estate when the device is closed. Very innovative design, just about as seamless as you could get. Again, wish I could get my hands on one of those here in the US. But it kind of made me think about the state of smartphones and just how boring my brand new Apple iPhone 14 Pro Max seems, kind of pedestrian, kind of boring next to some of these devices. And I'm wondering how much longer Apple can continue to stay out of really coming up with innovative form factors for their devices. We'll see. It really was an amazing week in Barcelona. Not only did I get to play with this cool tech, I got to meet people from all over the world and make some really good connections. And ultimately, that's why you go, to meet people and to make connections. And the food. Yeah, the food's absolutely incredible. But maybe that's another video. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on Unconvergence.